Hey y'all, I'm back. I'm back, guys. I have so many receipts to go through. So while I'm going through these receipts, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna do a story time. Let's start story time. Have y'all heard about this facility? The facility named Alphabet Tower. It's for the Alphabet Tower. That's the name of it. It's a living facility for ages 62 and older. And it's up north. It's called, the name of the facility is Alphabet Tower. I got so many receipts to go through, y'all. This how it is. This how it's going. And it was this man. He was living in this facility, and this man was 74 years old. This man was 74 years old, and he was living in this tower. He didn't work there, but he just had his way around the place that this tower. He had a way around this place. He know how to get in. A lot of places that people wasn't aware, and do things that people was not aware of what he was doing. Some of the people knew, but not everyone knew. And like I said, this guy was 74 years old. But he really didn't look 74. He probably looked about like 70, 71, something like that. Really didn't look 74. But he could get around very good. He could get around pretty good. And this man was sleeping with just about everybody in the building. He had keys to different things. He had keys. He did not work there though. The thing about it, when they found out about it, they said, well, how this man was getting into these different places, these different apartments, how he was coming in and out and getting into these different apartments, and he didn't even live here. A lot of people thought that he lived there because he actually had an apartment. They said he actually had an apartment. He had an apartment. He had keys to the apartment. He had all that. I don't know how this man did this. I don't know what they was doing. Maybe it was an inside job or whatever, because they said he would have guests to come and visit him, and they would look on the box and pull his name up. There's so many scams going around. But so I don't know how this guy was doing all this stuff that he was doing. But he had keys. He had an apartment. He had furniture in the apartment. A lot of the people thought that he was actually a resident there, but he wasn't a resident there. But it was so many things that he would do for the neighbors and stuff. He would clean up. He would help clean up the facility. If he see stuff on the ground, he would pick stuff up off the ground. So a lot of people thought that he was the maintenance guy, because when people come in the building, sometimes he would be cleaning up the building. He would be cleaning up on the inside, sweeping the floors, mopping the floors. He would just be helping people. Sometimes they would be coming in the door with groceries or whatever. He would help them with their groceries. And now this man was 74 years old, but he didn't look like it and get around very good. And he would help the peoples there. He would help management. He was just a lot of things he was doing, and they actually thought he lived there. Had his name inside the little box when you enter the building and look at the box when there's visitors, because they said he had a lot of visitors there. He had a lot of visitors would come in and out that apartment. And so he had a little name in the box and everything. And when his guests come, they would go to the box and he would bring them in and everything. And then come to find out, they said he was sleeping with some of all the residents in the building. They said he was sleeping with different residents in that building. He was sleeping with the men and the women. He was just doing so many things. But then the people actually thought he was the maintenance guy or the grounds guy because they would see him cleaning up a lot. They didn't really see him doing no maintenance work, but they would see him cleaning up and helping the residents out a lot. So they just thought he belonged there. Come to find out, that guy didn't even belong there. He was going inside these people's apartments, the little women's apartment. He was going inside the women's apartment. Sometimes the women would come up deceased, and you could smell the odor all out in the hallway sometimes. And they said when people be outside in the hallway, they thought it was maybe it was the trash chute, and so the trash had done built up or whatever like that. And maybe it was just trash just smelling bad. And then some of the people were saying, no, that's not the trash chute. It's not the trash chute. They said that smelled like a dead corpse. That smelled like a dead remains. They said it's not the trash chute. Someone in this building is dead. So that would happen on different floors. They had 3 levels. They had 3 floors. It was a small little living facility for ages 62 and up. It only had 3 floors. And they said people were dying in there. And that kind of reminded me of that doctor. Y'all remember when they did documentaries on TV? I think that was Netflix, about how, I think it was Netflix, Lifetime, how that doctor was going around killing people. And he was a nurse. But he was a nurse, and he was going around killing them elderly peoples, giving them medicine and stuff, and killing them. So these peoples in this living facility, Lord, these peoples in these living facilities, they was dying. They said they said every month there would be someone pass or get killed every month on every floor. Every month now, this went on every month. Someone get killed on every floor, every month. And they also were saying that, but sometimes when no one check on them and they wouldn't come out, so they wouldn't know until they actually smelled the odor, and then they knew someone was in the apartment deceased. That reminded me of that stuff, of that man that was on that documentary they did when he was giving them people the medicine and stuff and killing them people. Lord, y'all, I'm sorry, but I'm not trying to laugh or anything. It's just that I got kind of sleepy, and I got all these receipts, and I just had to stop. I got so many receipts right now, receipts everywhere, and I'm going through them. So this man was sleeping with women. He was sleeping with men. People were dying in the building. They didn't know why these people were dying. But they were dying. And then come to find out, the man had a key to these people's apartment. Some of these people lived alone. Stop putting y'all family members in these places and don't go check on them. Sometimes I know they grown or whatever, but when they get up in age like that, y'all need to check on y'all family members, because y'all just never know what's going on in these little buildings. And the people were dying, and man was going in these people's apartment. The man was stealing these people money. He was going in there. I guess that's what he was going in there for. How he get a key to those people's apartments, that is the strangest thing right there. He was going in there, going into their apartment, getting their money. One of the ladies, one of the residents there, daughter said someone was taking money from her mama for years. But she didn't check on to her that much. But she said her mama would always call her and say, well, I'm hungry. She was like, Mama, you just got your money. If you just got your money, how you so hungry? Why you calling me, telling me you hungry instead of going out buying you grocery? And she said, I went to the grocery stores twice this month, but I need something else and I don't have. I tried to use my debit card and I couldn't use my debit card. She said her mama went through that, but she said, well, she kind of figured something went going on right with her mama, and she kind of figured her mother was going through Alzheimer's or something. But then when everything came to light and came to the surface, then they realized that was that guy that was going. He had been going into those people's apartment. He had a key. He had a whole apartment. But he was going in other apartments in the building. He was going to other people's apartment. People that he was seeing and messing around with, they didn't even know he was seeing and messing around with them people. And this man was just doing some of everything. Y'all do not let y'all family members be in these apartments and y'all up in age like that, and do not check on y'all family members. Do not do that. Come to find out, the man ended up leaving them. Everybody thought he had an apartment, honey. They were looking for the man because they were like, something is going on. And so they was reporting it to the police and everything. And they said they don't see how people keep coming up dead in that building every month. On each floor, somebody dying every month. And so they started investigating it. And when they started investigating, they said they noticed he wasn't coming around. He wasn't coming around that often. I mean, they not coming around that often. He wouldn't be seen that often, like out in the little parking lot area, in the foyer area, mopping and sweeping and cleaning up and helping people inside the door as they come in, or if someone dropping them off, he will help them take the groceries out the car and take it to their apartment. They said they noticed that they hadn't seen him in a while. So when they started investigating, because they said something ain't right here, they don't understand how these people keep dying like this. They don't understand how they keep dying. Some of them people knew about, some of them people didn't know about until they started smelling their bodies. And some of them, they family members or they friends, they had friends that live in the building. So the friends would know, I haven't seen so-and-so in a while. So they would go tell management to check on them, because it's not like them to not to hear from them. So they would go check on some of them, and that's how they discover some of them was inside of their apartment deceased. Some of them, their body, the odor would start, their body would start deteriorating, and so that's how they found out some of them was dead. So when they started investigating everything, the man they stopped noticing the guy around. He had this apartment. He left that building. He left the building for a while, and then he'll come back and then leave for a while. But then they start saying, then they start noticing, where's Mr. Harry? We haven't seen Mr. Harry in a while. They would call him by his last name, but his first name was Neil. His name was Neil Harris. So they said, we haven't seen Mr. Harris in a while. But they said he said, well, I've been staying over to my son's house for a while because my son was so concerned about me. So he told me to start staying with him a couple of days out of the week, and he would come here a couple of days out of the week to check on me, because he said he didn't want to hear anything about me on the news. So that's my son, and I had to listen to my son. So I go to my son's house a couple of days a week, and he come here to check on me a couple of days a week. And then so the people were still coming up. The people were still dying. So they're like, well, where's so-and-so at? because they would start investigating. They were like, we noticed Mr. Harris, Neil Harris, he's not coming around. He's not being seen that often. Still, he started back coming around, and the people were still coming up dead. Then they later on found out the man. They were like, well, they were like, so they started going around talking to the neighbors, going around on each floor, talking to the neighbors one-on-one. The investigators was talking to the neighbors one-on-one. And so when they got to him, they said, his name Mr. Harris. So he said, okay, Mr. Harris. But when they tried to, management didn't even know the man did not belong there. This is how stupid this is. They had someone else to come in to help them. And so they was looking for his keys in the office, and they could not find the keys because he wasn't at home this particular time. He was visiting his son. So they was just checking in. They was like doing a welfare check on the residents. And whenever they didn't open the door, after they knocked so many times, they was just use their key and go in because they was doing a welfare check, and they was just, want to talk to him and make sure every resident was okay. So when they went to his apartment and they couldn't get in, and he didn't answer, so there was no answer. So they wanted to go inside his apartment to check to make sure he was okay. And they tried to open his door and could not open his door. And then they tried other keys because they had this little ring of keys. I said, I thought they supposed to have a master key, and the master key, they said it just all depends. So this is what they was telling the residents, that they said this just all depends. So they couldn't find the key to the man's apartment, and they were like, well, what Mr. So the lady said, Mr. Harris don't have a key. Mr. Neil Harris don't have a key for his apartment. We knocked on the door, but there was no answer, so we could not do a welfare check on him because he did not open the door. And they said, oh, Mr. Harris didn't open the door. They said, no, Mr. Harris didn't open the door. So then, now this is the stupid part about it. The management didn't even know the man wasn't living there. He was supposed to be living there because he was not on the books or anything. So they went to this particular apartment, and so they said, well, let's see why the key's not working to Mr. Harris' apartment. They tried to open the door. They could not open that door. Then they said, well, don't worry about it, because if he's not opening the door, he usually is downstairs if he at home anyway. The days he don't go to his son's place, he's usually downstairs so someone be done seen him. So they just overlooked that because he didn't open the door. And then the killings continue. Every month, someone would die on every floor. They end up finding out that was Mr. Harris. So then they were like, well, how is he killing people when he ain't here? People still end up dead. That man was still driving at the age of 74. When they thought he was at his son's place, he was driving back and forth. When he's supposed to be going over his son's place to stay for a couple of days, that man was driving back and forth. He had keys to go in every apartment he wanted to go in, into every room he wanted to enter. He had access to that building. Mr. Harris would go in them people's apartment. Some of them he was sleeping with. Men and women were coming up dead. He was sleeping with men and women. Honey, that man was killing them folks and play like he was living with his son so many days out of the week and at home so many days out of the week. Come to find out that man wasn't supposed to be there. But when they found this out, some kind of way he must have found out because he never did go back there. So they were saying, well, if we don't have any information about him, how we know who Mr. Harris is? Mr. Harris had got all his clothes out of there. They didn't know when he was coming and going. He had got all his stuff out, all his clothes and personal stuff out of there. He had to move all the furniture, everything out there. When they got a locksmith because they could never get with him to open that door. They got a locksmith and went in there, that apartment was empty. Mr. Harris had done left that place, but he was coming and going between time. And right to this day, they have no idea where that man is at or who Mr. Neil Harris was, who he were. They ain't even know who the guy was. Y'all be careful. Do not have y'all family members in these places, and don't go check on y'all family members. Y'all better go check on y'all family members when they living in these senior living facilities, or either living in these houses and stuff, and y'all don't go check on them. Y'all better go check on y'all family members, because y'all just don't know what's going on. And right to this day, they still looking for Mr. Harris, Mr. Neil Harris. They still looking for that man. They don't know who he was. They said they don't understand that. They don't understand how he was coming and going. And everyone thought that he lived there. They said, no, they don't understand that. They knew him. Every resident in there knew him, because he was always helping them. He was always helping them out and everything. But they just don't understand how he was living. They said he'd been living there about 4-5 years in that same apartment, coming and going, and no one know who he was. And this place is called the Alphabet Towers up north. I don't want too much say nothing about it, because I don't want them coming from me over here up north. Yeah. The Alphabet Tower. Y'all better check in on y'all family members, because y'all don't know what's going on. Some of the people said they believe that management knew exactly who he was, and they believe it was an inside job. Because how in the world he gonna be in there and have a key and all that, but then can't nobody enter the apartment, but he have an apartment there, and they don't even have access to the apartment. They probably had that man killing them residents, and they were stealing all them elderly people money. It was a scheme. Not a scheme, a scam. They were scamming them folks out of all their money, everything. They were ripping off them elderly people. Y'all check in on y'all elders. Check in on y'all family members. They don't care about nobody in this world. Y'all check in on y'all family members. And on that note, I'm going to end this live so I can finish going through all. I got papers. I got receipts everywhere. Yeah, the Alphabet Tower. Mr. Neil Harris, he was something else. It put you in the mind of that nurse when they did that documentary. It put you in the mind of that nurse that was killing those elderly people. That put you in the mind of. But this just happened to be, instead of a hospital, this was a senior living facility for the age 62 and older.